Hello everybody, so today we're going to have a look at your online reputation. We're going to be having a think about why your online reputation is important, and we're going to have a look and see how you can improve and manage your online reputation as well. So for your starter, I'd like for you to take about 5 minutes and just have a think for yourself. What is the worst thing that you've ever posted on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Insta, Reddit, anything like that, any social media? What's the worst thing that you've posted? Would you ever say that to or show it to someone in real life? Or are you using, anonymity of the internet? So 5 minutes, just have a think for yourselves. Pause the video whilst you do. So we are going to watch the first 2 minutes of this video. It's about a woman called Justine Sacco. Whilst we're watching it, I want you to be thinking, do you think Justine Sacco should have been fired? Have you ever posted anything similar online as well? So let's have a look.
Friday night, a PR flack named Justine Sacco tweeted a tasteless joke. She was boarding a flight. It read, "Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white." The blog BuzzFeed tweeted it as the worst tweet of all time. And as Sacco took off, she was completely unaware that down below on Earth, her world was disappearing. When she arrived in South Africa like 12 hours later, she'd already been fired, unaware, all without a single chance to defend herself. Countless articles had already been cataloging her demise as internet mobs cheered. In this modern world where bullying is condemned by famous names and faces, the true definition of bullying is sensing an opening and taking it. Many did. Now, did her tweet require firing? Probably. I thought it was a commentary on how bad African blacks have it when it comes to AIDS. But she's in PR, so she should probably know better. I'm sure if a left-wing comic had said this, though, many would have chuckled. But look, you don't need pitchforks to form a mob, just a jaunty bloodthirst and an ignorance that you could be next. Watching the web, waiting for Justine to land, as they knitted a noose, I came to one conclusion. When left to their own devices, literally, humans are creeps. She apologized, written statement saying she was insensitive to this crisis, and was ashamed of making this AIDS joke. KG, should she have been fired?
Yes, because sometimes sorry isn't good enough. I learned that from Ronan.
Yes.
You can say sorry for something, but it's just not going to cut it. I mean, how do you even think like that or say something so reprehensible about a disease that has killed so many, and especially in Africa where certain parts are very impoverished. You have children dying, you have children being born with AIDS. It's really nothing to joke about.
I know, but the thing is, maybe, Dana, I misread this joke, but I thought it was more of a white privilege analysis commentary on
white guilt.
Yeah, white guilt. Like, we don't have this problem, they do.
That's what you and I talked about that on Friday night when the tweet first broke, and then we sent it around, and I said, well, don't you think she meant this? You said, yeah, I think that's...
Okay, so obviously this is Fox News, which is very much right-wing and on the side of all white people, just to do a bit of source analysis there. But yeah, so do you think that Justine Sacco should have actually been fired? And have you ever posted anything similarly reprehensible online? So, having a think about your online reputation then. Our online reputation is now probably more important than your traditional offline reputation, especially for companies that have any kind of online presence, and any online presence, but certainly just about anybody. Even if it's just a few hundred people on Twitter, we reach far more people than we can speak to at, say, a coffee shop or in the office. So it's really important to understand your reputation online. So what is your online reputation at the moment? Are there any potentially damaging situations that could happen? What is your Achilles heel with your online reputation? So here are 6 real tweets that were found online by businesses who were vetting their applicants. So I'd like for you to read through all 6 of them and then rank them in the order of who you would give the job to. What sort of picture does your best and worst tweet paint of the author? Does anyone know where I can get some weed from? Hashtag Bifdar. Send me a picture of yourself naked, winky face, hashtag Fitty. Lads only want me for one thing, sad face. I'm so stupid, used again like a piece of meat. Wanna get smashed tonight? Who's in? Hashtag Pissheads. F this, I can't deal with it anymore. Parents go on holds tonight, bunking off school to Moz. Sweet. Hashtag sweet. So, using the worst tweet that you decided on, I would like you to respond as different people in society. So you could be any one of the following people. You could be a stranger, you could be the police, you could be an MP, you could be a parent, a teacher, or an employer. Each group have to consider how you'd be viewed from the following perspective. So if they already knew you, how they would see you now, how they would judge you, how would this situation alter their perspective, and how they would consequently treat you. So, what percentage of employers use social media to screen employees? I think that you're going to be a bit surprised at this one. It's actually 80% of employers use social media to have a look and see what their potential employees are like. What percentage of employers have said no to a candidate based on what they've found? A whopping 69% have said no to a candidate based on what they've found online. So, just have a real think. Why would those candidates have been rejected? So, the top reasons for rejecting candidates then. One of them is lying about qualifications. Saying that you've got a qualification when you haven't got one, that's 13%. Posting inappropriate photos or comments, negative comments about a previous employer, or demonstrating poor communication skills are all at 11%. Posts about taking drugs and discriminatory comments are at 10%, and then 9% are posts about drinking. Now, I'm not too sure where this data is actually from. I don't know if it's just American or if it's British as well, or if it's from the same study as previously, but this is really something to bear in mind. Your online reputation does matter. When you become a teacher, for example, one of the first things that they put you through is a story about worst case scenarios of teachers who haven't properly protected their online social media and who have had parental complaints, or they've had kids try to get in touch with them, or all sorts of things have gone wrong because teachers have done things like this. And teachers have been sacked for having done things like this, for having posted things like this. But isn't that right? That should be right, shouldn't it? So, what can you do then? First things first, crank up your privacy settings straight away, okay? Have a look at all of the privacy settings that you have on every single social media that you use. Make sure that you can't be found by anyone who doesn't want to find you. Also, make sure that nobody can see your posts who doesn't actually know you. So, number 2, don't post about your job at school or university. So, this is an example of a tweet. Cisco just offered me a job. Now I have to weigh the utility of a fatty paycheck against the daily commute to San Jose and hating the work. This woman was sacked the same week thanks to this tweet. Okay, you can't go complaining about your job, about school or university online, because there could be serious consequences. Number 3, choose wisely who your friends are. If they don't know you, then they have no right to see your information. If you wouldn't tell them this information to their face, don't let them access this information about you online. Number 4, think before you post, because once it's online, you lose control, okay? Think about the fact that screenshots exist, okay? Imagine if someone took a screenshot of what you wrote. Even if you deleted it, it is still out there, okay? So think before you post. Your reputation, then. A Native American proverb states that we will be known forever by the tracks that we leave. Just something to think about. So, as a final task then, what privacy settings do you have active on social media? Who can access your posts? Would you be comfortable with someone seeing everything that you've posted? So, as a final activity, and probably something that's going to take the rest of the hour, consider checking and changing your privacy settings on all of your social media. Consider going through your history and deleting posts if you wouldn't want someone to see those posts. Okay, guys, thank you, and I hope that you enjoy your